Alright, let's try to do this. Alright, I'm gonna. Hey, let's see. Hey everyone, gonna try to do this in a busy household, so you're gonna hear a lot of Vietnamese in the background. So there's family get together and all that stuff. So it's approximately, let's see, what am I doing? Okay, I'm gonna do this series of, gonna do a sketch. I'm gonna show you my digital painting, and the digital painting is in a software called Sketchable. It is, let's see, more. About us. There you go. Sketchable is by Silicon Blender. Bender, sorry. These are the guys. They gave me a Sketchable version, so I believe you can get it from the Windows Store for about $20 US, I believe, for the full-on version, and that's currently what I'm running right now. So I'm going to show you a little bit of, I'm going to do these skull drawing and all that stuff. So I initially did a real quick rough on the layer here. This is my layer palette. Okay, I like to draw in portrait mode. Usually when the software comes, it's like that, and I'm rotating it with my finger here so you can't really see. So first thing I do is, this is the right over here in this corner here is my tools, and my other tools are down here. But here is my, I guess, my menu, I guess my layer palette. So as you can see, let's see, get the corner here. Did I just mess up? File, save. Okay, so I'm running this on a Microsoft Surface 4 Pro 4, i5 system, Windows 10, latest build, and I'm using the Microsoft stylus. And this is the software called Sketchable. So this is my Windows 10 environment. So what I'm doing is I'm calling up a layer, and on this layer I have my rough drawing. It's just, I just randomly use my palette here. So what I'm going to do is create a new layer. That's the layer I'm on right now. So if I turn that off, you can see. So I'm using that layer, and what I do is, this is my default brush. So I haven't done anything. I'm just going to change some size, use black, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to draw this, I guess we'll call it Sarge or cigar or something like that. So I'm going to draw a skull. So first thing I always do is do a rough drawing, rough layout. Next is I ink it. So as you can see, I'll try to do this within 10-15 minutes or so. So the drawing itself is very crude, I guess, and it's a little bit of fun, just me having fun. Right, so you can see, not really, when I'm doing this, I have some ideas, I run it by, and inking, let's see, let's try to do some stuff, you can see, and so this past week or two, just been doing some random drawing based on some skulls. Just it's an exercise. I don't know why I came up with it, but it's just something different. I've been doing these daily sketch for past couple of years now, so I'm on my third year of doing daily sketch. So if you're curious why I'm doing, it's just basically just to play around, relax at the end of the day, and see if I can improve my art anyway. Just those are the kind of things I do the daily sketch for. So I found that if I scroll back long enough, I found that my artwork has improved. And I've gotten a lot faster, and just put in the time for it. Just do the art. Okay, so something like that. Maybe I should zoom in a little bit more to give me a better line detail. There you can see. Just messing around. There's no rhyme or reason. Okay. that. Give him a little, I think I want more dark under the eyes. So there we go. If I, for some reason, stop talking, it's because I ran out of things to say. Alright. Alright, like that. Do the teeth. See, there we go. Tracing. You can spend a lot of time on your artwork, depending on how much work you want to throw into it. Usually my stuff is, I try to get it done as fast as I can because I don't really have a lot of time. And just, oh, I forgot it's got the strap stuff coming down on that side. There we go. Give them a little bit more. Their teeth. Yes. Let's see. There we go. Color a little bit of black in there. Alright. How much stuff I got here. There we go. I keep forgetting that because I'm recording it landscape wise. Normally my tablet is in portrait mode because I like to draw that way. Feels like paper to me, but landscape mode is I end up with this, you know, a lot of blank on both sides and stuff. I do this because right now is because I'm recording video and it works better, so I don't have to constantly switch over. Just random detail here and there, you know, just little dots and stuff like that, just to give you an idea what it looks like. And I have a cigar coming out. Let's see that, and you know, give that a little bit more of a, so just doing a bit of ashes to give it a outline. There we go. That should be good enough. There, give a little bit of shadow there. There, perfect. So, right now I'm just drawing the skull. Zoom back out. Give yourself a bit more of an outline. There we go. More definition. And I should, that's too much. There you go, perfect. Alright, and then the helmet. Okay, let's try to do this. Go over. You notice I don't really change a lot of brush sizes. I don't know. Oh. Somebody liked my photo. Oops. You can see I can just go over it. I'm really, you should take your time and do proper clean lines, but I'm just doing what I can here. And one of the straps got one of these little. There we go. I'm gonna give you an idea of what. I'm gonna give it a little bit of depth here. If you want to put shadows in, you can. But what I'll do is I'll try to paint most of it in at a later time. And I guess Skull's back here. There we go. Darken that area a little bit. There we go. Alright. And as you can see, sometimes I don't even follow my own line work. Alright, let's see. What do we got? Alright, the skull's getting there. Come in here and let's give him a crest. Where this crest is. A little bit. Okay, so Sketchable is, I keep forgetting, this is the new Sketchable UI. What can I say? It's a really handy, it's a fun little app. For $20, it's got a lot of really great tools. Let's do this. Give him a lightning bolt. There we go. Yeah, I'll just maybe paint that in black. Oops. Undo. Yeah, probably got a gap in there somewhere. With my pen tool. There it is. That little gap. Or I can just paint in the space I want. Bucket tool. Back for my pen. And we'll just do a band-aid. Good enough. Alright, so there's our skull. Okay, so that was usually my first step for doing something like this. I do my outline. Next step I do is, because of these layers here, you can turn them off and on. You can see so that's pretty clean, right? You can clean it up even more if you want to add more shadow, more depth. It's basically tracing over the same line. That will give you a little bit more of a depth towards the character or something like that. But right now, in saving time for the recording of the video, I'm going to start coloring. Okay, so when it comes to coloring, I always end up breaking up my elements depending what it is. So in the case of this helmet here, it might be a dark green color. some band-aids, the crest itself, and the skull, and the scar, the straps, and maybe the eyes. So I usually start with a flat color, or my base color. In Sketchable, there is no color palette that I can actually save all this in. So the one trick is, if you decided to pick a series of colors, you can just basically create a layer, go into your color, and because I like using color wheel, and you can just paint yourself, make yourself a little bit bigger brush. So that's one color, maybe that's my lighter color, and so forth, right? Give myself a little bit so I can use. So I've been doing these skulls and different gray tones and stuff like that. So using that's fine. That gives you, that's basically my color layer for that. Maybe I want to go with helmet, start really dark green. If you actually see what I'm doing, I'm actually going up on the color wheel. Some cases I go reverse. Right now I usually go with a dark tone, then work my way up. So as I work my way up in color, you can see I can actually create depth and shadows, right? So I'm going more towards the white over here, right? So that's really, maybe I want to do a little bit more white for maybe the scratch lines and stuff like that. On the helmet, my skull, I'm going to use these color. They look like pink and so forth, so you can actually see. The eyes, maybe I'll do with a really, really dark red. Or actually, maybe we'll do yellow. Let's do yellow. We'll do yellow. Yeah. Orange. Will that go nice brown? Let's see. The eye, maybe this is the eye. No, let's not do that. Let's go with a dark red for the eye, and work my palette up depending how I want it. There we go. Okay. Then the strap itself is a brown, so maybe let's do. Actually, because the helmet's green, I'm going to use the same green for the strap, because it will be a military strap, right? Then maybe some gray in between, but that I can do. So, okay, so let's start coloring. So I'm just going to leave that palette up, and I'm just going to go create a new layer, because this is my color layer. I can just do that so it turns off, right? So here I'm here. So get my my eyedropper tool. So let's do our dark purple. Oops, that is the eraser tool. Accidentally touch it with my palm. Reverse. Yep, there we go. There we go. That's the purple I want to work with. Take my brush, because I am what we call basically putting the base tone, or the flat layer. It's gonna go in, and you can work reverse. I work with dark, and I work with shadow first. I put down my darkest tone I can possibly maybe get away with, then layer it up. In other words, I start painting on it to give it depth and highlights and so forth. So I'm not really concerned right now. I'll do this. Maybe I'll separate the teeth as a lighter thing. So if you are doing digital painting, it's a good idea to learn about your layers. There's layer blending modes and stuff like that. Those are the type of effects you can throw on your layer to, let's see, here we go. Or just pick the bucket tool, paint in that space. Make sure you, double tap in there. Sometimes you get these little white lines. So there's that one layer. And you know what? Let's separate that, and it's gonna create another layer. And maybe I'll do the teeth and the eye on one layer. So let's do that. So teeth is I'm not gonna use the sample stuff. I'm just gonna go up and maybe use that. That's for my teeth. And again, adjust my okay. So Sketchable is a great little app to start off with. It's pretty much got a lot of the stuff like Photoshop, but without all the bloat, for digital painting, of course. There's certain things I would love to have, like a gradient tool, so I can actually draw gradients. A little bit of lassoing maybe, or something like that, but you know, things like that. The tool is evolving. The guys are pretty responsive, the, the developers. And let's bring that down a little bit. Just paint within that space. There's the teeth. Then get the eyedropper tools. Pick the dark red, or actually no, go a little lighter. We'll go lighter. There, like that. And make sure that's the brush size I want. There's the eye. So I am separating the element. As you can see, now you're asking how does come up with the colors and stuff? And I said, well, I just randomly do these. The idea here is I'm separating the element so I can paint. There's a feature in most software called lock transparency. It's in here, in this tool here, in your layer settings. There's this lock transparency toggle that allows you to. So in other words, I can't. What it does is kind of like a masking tool. In mask only, it only allows me to paint on the layer that's already there's paint on it. If I try to paint other colors, let's say if I come in here and I try to pick yellow and I try to paint in this white space, you can see there's nothing I can do. But if I go over top where the layer I had, so as you can see, here's the layer. So I'll just turn off the background so you can actually see. I can just go in here and just, so I don't bleed outside that. And a good trick is just, you can see where all the white spaces I haven't filled in yet, so I'll just, oops, there we go, go back one more, there we go. So come here, disable that a little bit, go back to my eyedropper tool, pick my red. That's why I'm asking for a little bit of a color palette area, so I can actually hold the colors in, because I'm constantly as an artist, I'm constantly like, I mean, I can do these guys down here, but I don't really have a lot, so I usually paint something like this and work from there, from the eyedropper tool. So, and the teeth too, I guess. I'll get a little closer, you can actually see right there. I should take advantage of these color palette down here, but you know. Let's see. And just a little bit more in that area. Let's see. Some white. Alright, so that's the eye. What can I do? Maybe I'll do a little bit of the green strap in that space to separate out element from the rest of the, because there's enough space between them. So let's do dark green. Then I can work the layer up on top of that. So there we go. Green strap. Alright, there we go. Over here. Okay. Ba, ba, ba. Now let's cover it off. I'll erase out the inside of that later. Da, da, da. There we go. Alright. Screen strap. Perfect. Alright. Eye, element, teeth, mouth. Okay, so let's see. Let's turn on the other sucker. And there we go. Getting there, getting there, getting there. Alright. Let's create another layer. Do the helmet, because we're already on this green. So let's do the same green. So when doing two colors that are on separate layers, just keep an eye out for the gap in between that space. Right? Okay. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace this real quick. I'll do the crest and the logo on a separate layer later, but right now in trying to save some time. Let's see, and put the bucket tool in that space. If I zoom in carefully, you can see there's this white space here. So that's why I double tap. See, and it fills in that gap. Okay, so that's a little trick there. All right, there's a helmet. Oh, let's do that. Let's do this as a, there we go. Because it's far enough. What I'll do is I usually do gray and work my way up for the colors. And like that. Perfect. Ooh, you know what? I'll do the flame underneath from that layer there, from the teeth. So this layer here, because there's enough separation. Just do a, yep, like that, and just place it in here for now. There, perfect. That's good enough. Then let's go up to the helmet, create a new layer, and let's do the final. I try not to create too many layers on a lot of this. Normally I only have about an hour a day or so with the kids running around and stuff like that, so there, and I'll do a whole skull. There. Nice orange. Band-aid maybe too. Why would he have a series of band-aid on the helmet? Don't know why, but yeah, it's probably from Tank Girl inspired decor and stuff. Okay, so there we go. That is our base layer. From there, let's start painting shadows and depth. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to lock transparency, and let's go with something like, let's start down here. Okay, so this is the base layer. So I have a base color, and what I'm going to do next from the base colors is, let's start picking that sample color. So let's go with a lighter tone. I'm going to go with my brush. Now, there's a few techniques you can do. You can actually start with a solid brush or do something like what they call a transparent brush. So in other words, in Sketchable, it has brush controls. There's a series of stuff I can do here. I can call up brush, types of brush, and so forth. There's a lot of controls you have in here, which I should be messing around with, but I really don't. I'll just go with the basic default settings. So I'm going back here. So a few things you need to consider when you're coloring or adding colors and stuff like that is figure out where your lighting is coming from. So if you decide to put the light on this side, remember that to create depth, there will be a stronger light in this area than shadow on this area and so forth. But that is basically you're saying if there's only one light. Sometimes you have refractive lights, so maybe something over on this side of the face that reflects there, so you get highlights and maybe some shadows from behind and so forth. So as an example, so we might just end up doing that. So let's say I want the light to come from maybe this side, coming down from this side. Right? So there's a few things you can do. You can actually come in here and you can start going, okay, well, where's the light coming from? Maybe the light's coming from here. So you can either paint something like this, maybe over here like this, So I'm actually painting on this layer. Now, you can actually create yourself a new layer. Paint on it, try it out. If it doesn't work, delete the layer. And, go from there. Or you can do, just paint in the area, then say maybe the light here. Maybe I want a little bit of light coming from there. This part of the face, this part here. So there's maybe a little bit from the helmet you can actually see come through because I know it's going to be dark up there. So I want a little bit more light here, maybe a little bit here. Maybe just a hint here. something like this. So yeah, maybe the light's coming that direction. Give me a little bit more depth. Come here, shadow, so forth. There, something like this. So element here. So you can see maybe just a little bit from here. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Give it a little bit of highlight. And just a little bit, and maybe there. Okay. So, like, okay, so that's, when I'm using a solid brush with that basically no transparency or no soft edges, so it's a really, you can see the edges really sharp, right? You come in here and you can do a few things, right? So for me, I can just try, maybe I want to put some hatching in, so I can put basic hatching. So as you can see, I'm just doing something very minute just by tapping in that space, and you zoom back out, it looks like there's texture on the image itself. So I'm not really just doing, right? So maybe a little bit here, right? Right? So, I mean, you can do more fine brush control if you want. I'm just, because I don't have a lot of time, I'm just going to do this quick, give you an example. So I can see what I'm doing. Maybe a little bit here and just give you an idea. Like that. There we go. Right? A series of dots or a series of lines. Right? So see? Now you can see the image of the skull is starting to form to fill this really neat. So, do your, when people say do your lighting study, please do your lighting study. Your shadows and stuff like that. So, just give you an idea. There, see? I'm not really doing anything fancy. Just giving character a little bit of like detail, and you can see the detail coming in. Just sometimes a little short jabby lines here and there, or right. So maybe I'll give them a little bit here so you can actually see. There we go. Right, so this is one way you can do shading, right? So now if you can see that, look, wow, that's starting to look, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off that white in the background, like that, so you can see, and I'll turn off that, my rough, there we go. You can see as I draw, so as I go up, so you can see here, this is from my color wheel. I'm going to go up a little subtler. I'm going to go up maybe right here because I want it towards this white, because maybe I want, a little bit more light or something. I can still go with my sharp edge brush to give you that look. See, you can see it's, more white in that space, but I'm going to do something. On top of that, I'm just going to switch to more of a soft brush. This has a softer brush. So the way this works is I can come in here, I can start layering, right? So let's do a little smaller. I can just do, you can see, as I go over top of it, it adds this little, so now I can see there's, a little bit of texture to the screen, right? So maybe I want to do a bit of that. A little bit. There we go. Right. Not really doing a lot, just a little bit. Just give you an idea of how I paint. Give it a little bit of depth. So this here is maybe more of a sheen. I can go a little bit higher white, give it a bit more. Just layer it on. Now, if it's too much and you want to blend that in, There's Smudge Tool, I guess. I'm trying to remember the French name for this. It's like a roll of paper kind of thing, and you can actually come in here and just bring this smudging tool down a little bit more. You can actually use it to soften the edges a little bit. I just lightly tap it. I pull on it. You can see it's actually pulling on the other layer beneath. So later on, as you finish your painting, maybe you want a softer edge, like right here. So you can actually just come in here and just blend it. Pull it back up a little. Like that. See that? And, right? So now I'm doing all sorts of funky stuff to this drawing. Right? Ideally, you should try to, pick a style, go with it, and stuff like that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this light brush tool and just slowly paint on the area I want. Just give it a little bit of more of a texture. There we go. Yeah. Just a little bit there. A little bit there. It's my little hoping I'm learning something. So I'm doing these little highlights. Give it a... There we go. Let's give it a little bit of depth. The image. There we go. So there's my image. I might come in here and do a little bit of with the soft brush here. Give it, instead of too dark, do a little bit more so it's not too crazy in this space. There we go. Maybe a little highlight on the edges here. At the bottom. Okay. So that's how I do. There we go. So that is my skull, right? Maybe. There we go. I wonder where the light falls. Uh-oh. Hi, baby. That's my daughter, Kayla. That's my attention. Alright, so that's the skull, right? So let's go what is on this layer. Okay, next. Let's do the teeth, right? We're doing the teeth. Okay, Daddy's gonna paint the teeth. Hi, baby. Alright, so let's come in here and pick the teeth color. Let's go a little bit whiter. Come in here, maybe break my tool a little bit more.
Pink.
Yeah, pink. Awesome.
Mommy, it's pink. I can't be up. I want to be baby.
What was that?
I can't want to be young one.
Oh, yeah?
I can't be young.
Oh, okay.
Hey, somebody, what's the name?
You singing?
No.
Oh, that's Daddy's microphone. That's the microphone. Daddy's recording right now. Okay. So as you can see, my little girl wants to help. That's Kayla. She's almost 3. She's playing here. So I apologize for the noise in the background. It's doing a family get-together today. And it's Friday afternoon, I guess. Recording this on Friday afternoon. What's wrong? Oh, okay, good. Going to Mom. Alright, so here we go. Maybe actually go here, make that a little smaller because there should be some shadows. There we go. Because we said light was coming in from this angle. Maybe some shadows in the dark space here. Now, normally what you want to do is when you do shadows, you can do like cool colors and stuff like that, but Like shadows usually like blue. So if I come in here and I throw in a blue, see? There. Shadows a nice blue. Dark blue. Yeah. There's a tip right there. Shadows blue. But because you have reflective and refractive colors, you can do all sorts of little. Oh yeah, because we're gonna have this yellow glow here. You can, if you already know. I know there's a lot of great artists out there, way better than I do. Knows about how to colors and stuff like that. And they'll probably put in like a little yellow cast like this, right? Just to, for example, right? So you can just blend that in. Take the blending tool and just soften that in a little bit like that, and that will give you a little bit of a yellow, so it looks like the yellow. But I usually do that last. So what I do is I try to get a complete tone of the image first, so you can see where I'm at right now. So what am I doing right here? Okay, so I have these straps, the eyes, I have the little bit of the flame. So here's the flame. It's gonna throw in a bit of maybe a bit of an orange in this space. Oops. Pick something a little bit more orangey. Is that right? Did I do it right? Yeah, okay. There we go. Throw in a little bit orange in the edge. Right. Then back to yellow. Gonna put a little bit of white near the top. As flames get hotter, you can see it's either blue in the center or white, pure white, like that. But I just like to, because I'm saving some time, it's gonna try to paint this and try to explain a lot of this for you. So the eyes, again, same thing with the eyes. Color palette. I'm gonna go with a lighter. I think that's the same color that we did. I believe that is the same color. But you can just go up a little bit more or up a little bit more. And I'm gonna pick this here, and as I add color, I can create this gradient tone. So I want him to look that way. So I'm gonna use this spot here as if it was his eyes right here in this spot. There we go. Right. Now you mess up. It's easy enough to fix. You want more dark, just go back and see. I can just paint that dark back in. Because it is, his forehead is, or his eyebrow, his bow is a little thicker. So, saving some time, as you can see, I'm just quickly going. That's why I have this lock transparency layer on right here, lock transparency. You can do the same thing with coming here to the layer palette in Sketchable and touch this and, oops, or did I do it wrong? I didn't believe it's right here then. They moved it before you could. So something like this, that's the eye. Now I could paint on the eyeball at the same time and all that stuff and go with, something a little bit whiter. Change my brush down a little bit more, come in here and just do the something like this, go over. Right, so I'm not doing much of anything, just layering on colors. I get lighter or whatever the stuff is, so you can see I'm kind of doing something funny in that space. Just there you go. Go over a spot so it looks like there's an eye here. Right. And if I go wider, I just do a as if there's some sort of reflection there. Just a little bit. So, see, like that. If I don't like it, just take the blending tool and just go in and soften up the edge just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Right? And I can paint more of a white in that space. If I want to do more of a solid white, just go solid white and just do. Right. edge as well. There we go. There. So it looks like there's an eye, but you can do all sorts of neat things with it. Maybe put a little bit of yellow or in that space, right? If you don't like it, just paint over it and do it again. That's what I do for a lot of this stuff. But again, it's, you know, in saving some time, I can just put a little yellow. There we go. Give them a little bit of yellow in that space. There we go. Right. Come in here and just blend that a little bit. There we go. All right. Give you an idea what's going on, and we gotta do the straps. So the strap here is, I'm gonna try to get this to be a darker green. So come back here, pick that green, and I'm gonna throw in a little bit, go darker, very darker, and is it, hopefully that I'm on the right layer. Yep, that's the right layer. Come in here and you can see, oh, it's not dark enough. There we go. Right? Maybe I'll just outright paint it. There we go. Then work my way out. Right? There. Just outright paint it. Something like this. Okay. You can see when I lock the layer, there's something here that's missing. Right? So I'm going to have to go back and unlock it and paint in that space. But right now, I'll just leave it as is. Then go back to my transparent brush or my softer brush. Go up a little higher and watch. As I create this a little bit bigger, I can actually create, go over top of it as if there is, you know, light coming off of it. Same thing applies here, right? Just enough, but I don't want too much, right? So a little bit like this, then go a little higher, bring the brush down a little bit more to give it more of an edge. See? There you go. See? And give enough, and because it is a soft brush, I can just do a little like that, and it gives it a little bit of a feel for, you know, bring this down a little bit more and just streak some lines in there, and it gives it a little bit of texture. Or you go to the edge and you just, you know, you do this little rough thing, you just kind of slowly make these little dots, and it gives it a bit more detail. There you go, right? So it's just a lot of this is, I've been doing this for over 2 years now, and I'm learning the brush itself. I'm learning how hard I press, how light I press, and you can see it's just trying to give you that a little bit of depth. Sometimes I put too much, sometimes I don't put enough, you know. Let's go a little bit bigger. Thank you. There we go. Just a little bit. Alright. There we go. There. Alright, just a little bit. There we go. Maybe just. There we go. Like that. So that is, what else is there that we throw in here? That layer. So you can come in and, you know, turn off. Okay, so I did paint in the right space. So, okay, now what else can we need to do? Helmet, right? We got the flames, we got that. Okay, so a helmet. Let's turn off this. Leave that in there. Okay, so helmet. We said that there was some light coming from here. So let's go with, you can go with a lighter color coming from the helmet. Let's do that first. Get a big brush. Now, there's a few things you can do. I can do just like a soft glow here, and that is maybe, maybe this is using a airbrush tool that will give me, you know, like that. See, I can give this little soft glow stuff, or just come back here and just, you know, throw on this. I'm just gonna give it almost a texture look, and that is because I'm just doing this like little circular motion or tap tap motion, right? The helmet like that. Give it a little bit of light, maybe a little bit here. Not really doing much, so I just want this to be like a little lip right here. Again, bring that down a little bit. Give myself a bit more. Right, so you can see. You can create your own brush if you want like a pitted look. Right, I just do enough to give you a subtle hint that there's something here, and maybe I'll go up a little bit more. There we go. And I get to the edge, maybe just pit it a little bit more to give it. Now, come in here, and if I put too much, then I can just darken it back down again. Right, give it. Just layering this stuff on. Maybe I need to. There we go. I spent a lot of time on this. I'm hoping I did enough already, so I don't know if you're going to sit through all this video or not, but right. And if you want, just come in here and just blend it. Oh wow, 51 minutes. Okay, so time's almost up. There, see? But, oh, don't like it. I like the texture better. Yeah. It's kind of like my helmet. Give it a broader wash over here. There. Maybe you should do a little bit of a dent. Something like this. Come back here. Bring down the brush a little bit more shadow around the edges. Yeah, that's enough to give you a feel there's something there. So yeah, there we go. See, that gives it. I'm just adding back some dark spaces. Alright. There we go. That's the helmet, and okay, so we're and the scar. Because it's gray, it's easy enough. I just go on a lighter tone and do a little bit of. You can see, not really highlighting everything. I'm just enough to give. You know, there we go. Like this. Maybe put a little bit of that yellow in there. Give it so it looks like the paper is burning. There we go.
Yeah, wait.
There we go. There, see? Like that. I'm just slowly brushing it on. Then let's do the crest and logo stuff. Oops. There we go. A little crest and logo. Easy enough. I'll just stick with this yellow. There. Maybe that putting a little bit of a sheen on the edge. Something's here. There. You can see I'm just doing little edges and stuff. Maybe just hint of something. A little bit of dark here. And brown. A little bit of green to blend in there a little bit. It's kind of dirty. you know, it's just gives you an idea that this is not the helmet that's been through a lot of action or something like that. And maybe I need to go back to the helmet portion, this helmet portion, pick the eyedropper tool, pick this green, and go a little darker on my brush, and just give it a, just giving it a little bit of a shadow. Maybe the label's a little. Do I do blue shadow? Here we go. If I do blue, you can see. Blue, for some reason, when you go on there, blue's a good shadow color. Blue is shadow, actually. Maybe this give it a little bit of depth. It's a little warmer, or a little cooler. Shadow's always cooler. There we go. All right. So that is our skull at 56, almost an hour in. It's almost perfect. So then after that is I'm just going to turn off the series, the layer. Then come in here. Oops. Sketchable. There we go. There we go. Okay. Come in here. Come on. There we go. What are we doing? Turn on the background. Right? So, come in here. Where's my background? Come on. There we go. Create a new layer. Maybe we'll pick something. Because it's military, let's do dark. Let's do dark green. Paint in the back. Oops. Got to turn that off. There we go. Alright, there's the dark green. Then maybe I'll just put a little glow in the back. Maybe use the airbrush tool. Put it on max. Bring this down and just give them like maybe like that. Right. There we go. Right, you can do all sorts of little things you can throw on top. So it's gonna do a little green. There we go. That's kind of cool. All right. Oh, let's do some effects. Okay. So now that we have the idea of what the image looks like, I'm just going to go to the top of the layer, create a new layer, and this is where we come into blending mode. It's basically something Photoshop has and most of the software has. Sketchable has the same, pretty much all the blending mode you can have if you actually didn't want to buy Photoshop at $50, $60 a month. Or $19 a month if you're a student or something like that for cloud services. But this one here is $20. You can't go wrong with this. I'm just going to use let's see. Let's do a light. Let's do a color dodge. No. Or let's do an overlay. There we go. Overlay. Do an overlay in the flames. Let's pick a little bit of the yellow flame. And because I'm using an airbrush tool, just bring that down. I'm just gonna throw it on here. So blending mode is basically taking color and just blending it on top of another color, right? So in that mode, I'm going to take this paint. It's going to paint in yellow. Oops, did I do that right? So that's the blending mode. For that, for the yellow, for the effects, maybe a little bit under the eyes. See? So I'm just blending in. There we go. As you can see a little bit more yellow cast. There we go. Because I'm blending yellow on top of the other color, so it gives it. Maybe the light here is a little from the cigarette. It's really, really strong. Green, for some reason, doesn't work really well. Green and yellow. A little bit more yellow there in the eye. There we go. A little bit. Yes, there we go on this side. Ooh, that's too much. It's okay. Yeah, you're getting the idea. So, like that. You can see I'm creating some sort of there. Gives you an idea. Yeah, right. So there, and maybe with that, I'm going to use white in this space here. Yeah, lighten a little bit, but it's not that much. Let's see. Go under the helmet. There we go. Yeah, some space. There we go. All right. I think we are good. Ta-da! So there. So that is how I color. Oh, and of course, you don't forget. I'm just going to use a highlight tool, and I'll go with a lighter green and my little autograph at the bottom. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you learned something from this. Me painting skull and stuff. I mean, I could have put more, a little bit of highlight down here and stuff like that, but you get the idea. Alright, so hopefully subscribe to my channel if you want more, ask questions and so forth, or you can find me on my Google Plus for my daily drawings. Alright, have a good one.